Javier Ortiz from Escaping Bushwick, 411 on Facebook, and I'm here with D-Stroy Melendez, a Bushwick native, and we're here to talk a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of East Willie B, and a little bit about his future project and Latinos in the industry. So welcome, D-Stroy.
Welcome to America.
America's the place to be. So tell us, man, what's going on with East Willie B?
East Willie B is a great project. It's a web series. You know, initially they wanted to make it actual, full-length. I mean, that's what we're working towards, making it a comedy series. But with the dynamics and the blessing of a platform like YouTube, where you can create some content and people kind of gravitate to it. The team there was, they had a great concept, a great idea, and they said, let's do something about this neighborhood, Bushwick, which is, it's going through a remix. You know what I'm saying? I would say a renaissance, but it's more of a remix of the history of Bushwick with the Dutch in the 1800s, and then us dirty Latinos came here. It was like, so they all broke out, and now we've been running it from like the 70s, and the black folks as well from the 50s to now, and we got a little hang on it, and now it's going back to where like from Michigan, Virginia, like, hey, it's cheaper to live in Bushwick, so I can get the experience of saying I live in New York, so they come in here. But the East Willie B is what a lot of people are calling, what should I say, the new folks are calling Bushwick, because they fear, if you Google Bushwick, you probably associate it with the riots, the blackouts, Land Kings, or whatever it is, so they say East Willie B. It was more like a mockery towards the name of it, There's some actual people from Bushwick like, why'd you call it East Willie B? That's corny. But it was more like a play on it, So, the response has been great. Done a couple of TV shows and got a lot of good, credible individuals who want to support it and back it up. And, we keep riding with it. It's all based on the YouTube following and people liking.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, East Willie B is an independent production, right? There's no big production companies on it.
Yeah, correct.
You guys did all this yourself.
Correct.
And do you think that, for communities like ours, that's the way, the future of making movies and content online and independent production and stuff like that?
I would say, see, back then there wasn't a lot of rappers, right? And then out of nowhere, a lot of rappers happened. The reason why was because it was easy. It became easy. Back then, you needed a big board to make this album. Now you can just do it in your grandmother's basement. With film as well, you get a person with a Canon, and they're shooting the whole flick.
Like that one right there.
Yeah. But the whole point is that it's the concept behind it. If you're gonna give me a story about somebody getting shot, and this is the angle from the little kid who was raised in the hood, who had to sell drugs to get out, like, we already seen that in Fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you could give a different angle, a different perspective, something to make it seem like it's progressive towards our people, our location, and our community, then definitely that's a great thing. With East Willie B, it's comedy bits. It's talking about a Latino who owned a bar, and the whole neighborhood around him is changing, and he wants to know how he could keep the bar running in this new community, along with his relationship that he's losing because another bar owner from the new community is attracting her. Right. So the way it all came about, they initially tried to get funding, through your regular going to meetings in LA and stuff like that, and then Kickstarter happened. So they were able to raise $50,000 through Kickstarter, and then they utilized that, the attention, and a lot of momentum to make it happen.
Yeah, that's how I heard of when East Willie B was through Kickstarter.
Me too.
So you mentioned hip-hop, right, and rappers and all that stuff.
Yep.
And that's your background. That's where you come from, right?
That is.
So tell us a little bit about your history and what you're doing, where you're up to now.
As I started here, you're from Bushwick, right?
I'm from Bushwick.
You remember Yogi Bear?
Yep.
So when I was a kid, I went to Yogi Bear, and I wrote a rhyme for my English teacher, and it was about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I did like a remix version of him, and my friend was like, hey, why don't you say it at the talent show at Yogi Bear? So I went and I did my poem, mad nervous, probably 12 years old, in the stage, in front of a whole bunch of, you know, dirty ass kids from Brooklyn. You know we all were. And you know, I won a trip for me and like 4 friends to go skiing at the Poconos, you know. And we all homeless looking kids going skiing. It was like, oh my God. But based off of that momentum, meeting Tony Touch on Knickerbocker at a music hut, which was where he worked. He was cutting records, and I rhymed. I said, yo, I rap, and we became buddies. His mixtapes became an item, and you know, I started going on the road with Run DMC and Naughty by Nature as a host. Started my own thing, my own group called The Arsonists, which was at Knickerbocker Park Cyphers, you know, wilding and doing a lot of stuff like that. And we were blessed to go on the road, and you know, a dream of mine when I was younger was to have a whole bunch of kids from Bushwick on a plane, and I was able to do that and get everybody out to LA. So it was like, wow, man, this is awesome. A bunch of hood rats, you know.
Out in LA, right?
Out in LA, and you know, then we was out in Germany, out in everywhere. We was just, you know, we were fortunate. I turned around, people were like, hey man, you're good at your rapping thing, but you're pretty funny and you got like a lot of things you can do. And I don't know what my first forays were, but I would do like little modeling gigs, and then the good one was Red Bull and NBA. So I started doing Major League Soccer games at the arena and NBA All-Star games since 2005. I've been hosting them, so I've been riding with these guys for a minute, you know, and a lot of things are still happening where I'm fortunate to do, you know, music events for Red Bull, auctions for Red Bull, because, you know, Red Bull is such a crazy brand, an amazing brand, and it's great to do that. And just kind of like, they just did a Red Bull event in Bushwick Avenue at a church that hasn't been open.
Oh, really?
They did like a bike event in there. And I was like, man.
Red Bull's all into the BC1 with the
Yeah, there's a big sign in Bushwick with Questlove in it. But yeah, BC1's amazing. I did that, and you know, it's anyway. So it evolved from me being this rapper kid, which I feel started in 111, which was the junior high school I went to, and Yogi Bear.
Right.
You know, I think that right there, and then you know, you have your little friends who are like, you can't rap better than me, even though they didn't rap. And, you know, I don't know, I just feel like that right there, that moment right there, my mother being, you know, out of control, and my father wilding as well, I just thought it was a great system to be raised in. Wow, but, yeah.
So we talked a little bit about film, we talked a little bit about hip-hop.
Yep.
What about graffiti? You know, that's the part that interests me the most about hip-hop culture, was the graffiti moment, and how it's just mainstream now. Everywhere we go.
Yeah. It's the evolution of it is amazing, you know. Shout out to you have the elements of hip hop. The DJ, the breaker, the MC, and the graffiti, right? The MC is probably the easiest thing. There's not really a financial thing you have to spend stuff on. Graffiti, you gotta buy all these cans. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta buy all these art stuff, supplies, and you know, and in the sense of, see, like this right here, this piece right here in Bushwick is done on a factory that I'm sure they said, hey, is it okay if we do this? You know, back then we didn't think of saying, yo, let's speak to the owner, or more, should I say, Koch made it more frowned upon, you know, they're doing graffiti, it's against the law. So if you went to an owner and said, hey, can I do a piece of your company's name on the front? They'd be like, nah, we don't want to be associated with that. But yeah, Mark Echo, who, you know, he went on, he started his clothing company, and when you look at it, he did have a video game that Atari put out, Getting Up, which they did that, and another type of event that I had did, but my whole point was that you just seen it grow, you know, into other things where kind of like where it started, and I can't really say it started because it started everywhere, but you know, from, you know, the Berlin Wall back in the hundreds, people were writing on walls, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think our art and this whole graffiti thing, you know, Feet Street and all that, is such amazing. The first time I got arrested, you know, first time, I know that's so silly, but I didn't get arrested a lot, so I'm not one of those type of guys. It's just, I'll tell you, it's all hip-hop stuff, or should I say, that's what I thought it was. Canal Street, I had just got a white pilot, and I just wrote D-Stroy from Canal Street, all the way to Union Square, and the whole time I was being followed. And when I destroyed enough property where it was like enough for me to get arrested, that's when they arrested me.
Just racking up the bill with
yeah. So I'm like on a big D, like super hype, and my boy's like, because he could see and I didn't see, and that's it. I got grabbed, you know. But that was, I don't remember what year was that. That was, you know, I was young, you know. I was getting up, getting my name out there, and doing that stuff. But I was never really like bombing in the sense of doing graffiti pieces, which I love because you can see it takes, you know, it's like a real skill. Other kids are like, fuck America, you know what I'm saying, or whatever they want to write. But you know, when you could, you know, you're nice on paper and then you throw it on a wall, man, it's amazing. But, you know, there's like two sides of that stick. If a graffiti artist ends up being in a gallery, you know, that's kind of dope. You know, I went to a gallery in Berlin. You know, freestyle. You know, a freestyle piece that's like all. I seen one of those made out of cement, and you could walk around it and like look. I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, and a lot of the graffiti artists don't even listen to hip hop really. You know, they listen to rock, they listen to AC/DC, Metallica, they listen to everything. Exactly, like b-boys. B-boy, you can't break to the music that's coming out now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, so those b-boys are dancing to like house music, freestyle music, you know, and of course breaks. So it's crazy that, you know, to be here and knowing how it started, but I love that there's an evolution to our art. And that came here.
And it's coming all the way around now, right? Because now it's popular, it's mainstream, and people are starting to know the roots, and they're like, oh, you know, we didn't know graffiti was a part of the hip hop culture.
Right.
You know? Right. So it's all coming together. I want to talk to you a little bit right now about Latinos, right? Because we're from Bushwick. This is where we were born and raised.
Right.
And now it's an up and coming neighborhood. You know, people, you know, it's on the news for not just bad things anymore. Do you think, you know, this influx of people that didn't used to live here before is a good thing or a bad thing for this thing?
When I was a little kid, there was a female who came from Texas. I lived on Melrose. I was a little kid, and she was a punk rock girl, you know what I'm saying? And one time, she didn't really know the little kids, and I guess to kind of get acclimated with the neighborhood, or the block, should I say. She was like, I want to do a Halloween contest. Whoever does the best artwork wins, like a Tootsie Roll or something. You know, whatever she was given. And I cared so much about this. You know, I cared so much about this. And I went and I did this whole thing. And when I went to her apartment, I noticed that her walls were like graffitied out. But she didn't speak like me. She spoke like she was from Texas, like a country girl, you know? And I was intrigued by that. And as I grew up, you know, knowing that and knowing how she was culturally, and I was fortunate enough to travel a lot. And then when I came back and I seen like how the neighborhood is now, I see like segregation, like just head nods, which is where I know that a lot of these people who come from backgrounds where they went to college, they either doing art, whatever they're doing, I know is creative.
Right.
And they can inspire the community that's here, the young kids who, they never been to Disney, they never been to New Jersey, their mothers don't even know how to get to 14th Street on the L train that goes right to 14th Street. You know, I've witnessed that, but my point is like, you know, if you live in the neighborhood and you're not doing nothing on that Saturday afternoon, talk to that little kid or talk to that mom. You know, you don't gotta feel uncomfortable. You know, just kind of, you're part of the community. And my mom's been here for like over 40 years. She's been in her apartment. When I was young, making some bread, I was like, Mom, let's get you out of here. And she said, no, I don't want to get out of here because I feel safe here. And she was saying that back, you know, not when it was the way it is now. So now that it's the way it is now, she's like, look, I'm happy I didn't leave. It's cool now.
She had to wait it out.
Yeah, and she did. She paid her dues, you know. She ran her gangs, you know. She was doing her thing. But the thing is, I would like to see the new and the people who are already here get a little bit more acquainted with each other, communicate more as a community should. You know, as that female from Texas communicated with all the kids. And it was beneficial to me, and it definitely affected me, you know, definitely. And it was like very important, and I just hope that people take notice and kind of do that sort of thing for our neighborhood and our youth and just overall. You're in where you at right now?
I'm in California.
You're in Cali. You're from Bushwick?
I was born and raised in Bushwick.
What the fuck you doing over there? You know, but see that I have my mother's father went to Cali and started a family over there. And I was fortunate enough to go over there a lot of times and hang out with my West Coast family. They were hood rats. They were like, they look like Bushwick people in South Central. I swear to you. But it's just amazing the beauty that you went over there. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, no, I'm gonna live here. And you come from here. You come from the crack era. The crack,
man.
The crack out right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you go back to the other thing, Yogi Bear. I have stitches that I don't know if you can see here. I have stitches here. That's from Yogi Bear. That's from a place where your mother sent you when you was 11, 13, and she said, go there because it is a good place to be. It was like a camp under the umbrella of God and religion, and you know, all of our parents were under that impression. But when you would go there, you'll see all these kids, but then you go on that bus that would take you there. And then that bus was where, like, you know, I stole a beeper, I took a vest, and then, you know, I got, you know, we get into beef because that's just how crazy it was when you put all these kids together. But the beauty is, I say that those people that ran that weren't from Bushwick. So they had an idea of saying, let's help them, you know? And I think that was good, because look at me. I think that's why. I went to Maryland to build a porch for an old lady that lost a porch in a flood. Me and a bunch of dirty-ass kids, you know. And I say that because, you know, it was dirty-ass kids. I can say that because I was one of them. But, you know, we built this porch. We slept in the church, and then we went home. We came back to Bushwick, and it was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping a old white lady who's from Virginia. She lived train tracks right in front of her house, and my mind was opened up. I'm going skiing. This is all because of Yogi Bear.
Yeah, it was one of the few positive things for kids at that age, at that time.
Right.
It was stuff like that.
Right.
I used to do 4-H, the biggest fishing.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool stuff.
So it's like, it's there, and that was in the crack era.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it can happen, and it is happening. You're a product. I'm a product, and you know, is it like, you know, the escape Bushwick thing? Like, my mom is still here. I can't break out. Your grandmother's still here, right? So we can't escape, really. Like,
well,
you know.
That was the feel, though. You know.
Yeah.
Because there was some crazy stuff going on. You felt like, hey, I gotta get out of here. So that's why I thought I'd talk to you now, because I come here now and you know, I see things, and this is a nice place. It's getting nicer.
It is.
It's a lot cooler.
It is.
Nobody wants to escape anymore. So
right.
People want to be.
My brother is, I'm the yin, he's the yang. So he's done, like, you know, he's like that guy you can't trust at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's that dude, love him for life, stitches everywhere. You know, he lives that life. He's an older dude, but I love him because he's a product, as I'm a product. You know what I'm saying? And to know that we were both raised under the same roof, you know, it's crazy. But you know, like you said, it did turn around. Now he's heckling white rockers. You know, shorty. You know, they're like, fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But you know, there's a beauty in it. And I just feel like all the craziness that we went through in those days, you know what I'm saying, that for it to be what it is now, it's cool. And I know it's only going to get better, but when you raise the rent and then the people who already live there have to move, then that's when it's like, it's heathens, you know, you got us, you know. But, you know, overall, I benefited from the struggle, should I say. I learned there's a lot of things I didn't need to learn. Like, you didn't need to learn, yo, you gotta keep it real, man. Anybody come at you, say, fuck that. Yeah. You didn't have to learn that, because successful people, and I don't mean successful people like Jay, I mean like people who were raised in like Donald Trump. He didn't need to know about keeping it real, punch him in the face first before, you know, yeah, exactly. Yo, if he has an iPod before those train doors close, grab it and run, you know. He didn't need to learn any of that. You know, we did, for no reason. You know, so all that keeping it real shit was fucking useless. But I'm happy to be a product of this environment.
That's all positive.
Yeah.
All right, D-Stroy, I got one last question, man.
So he's gonna give me a pound.
No.
Like, yo, son.
Left you hanging?
So, you know, again, Latinos in the media, right?
Right.
And you're a big part of that now, and you come with background. You hip-hop, record producer, you know, hip-hop groups, all that stuff. Where do you see this in 10 years? 35% of the market is Latino, right? That's the thing. Where do you see it in 10 years?
Truthfully, I would like us to be a factor. Obviously, you would think we would be a factor. I would like us to be a factor. When you look at us in entertainment, a lot of the movies that were made in regards to Latinos, it's mostly from a perspective from the Mexican Americans. Where I think the one that we did have was El Cantante, which a lot of Latinos wanted to stab Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez in the neck for. You know what I'm saying? No, because a lot of people didn't appreciate the way the story was told. But at the same time, it was the only East Coast Latino story. I mean, I'm sure there's others. You know, I mean, there's crazy independent ones as well. But Blood In, Blood Out, and there's a slew. The Selena one, which is I'm happy that was made. But a lot of these things were made from the perspective of the West.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But I just wish the East had a little bit more. There was a little bit more of that sprinkled in mainstream Hollywood. You know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen because of us. So we just have to understand how much of a power we have. You know, not only with voting, but just overall. You know, I mean, if we're buying you know, gossip magazines and reading novels, it's not really being effective to the society. We can pick up you know, some real story that exists, a biography or something, and affect the lives of the kids that are here. Me right now, I'm at Flushing High School helping about 300 students who barely speak English, trying to do something cool with them so that they could feel part of the community of the school. You know, they want to play ball, but they can't speak English, so they're a little bit intimidated with the guys that do speak English. So it's like I'm trying to make an effect. You know, I'm on the radio. I do my stuff on there. I say my jokes, and I socialize with everybody.
You're still on Sirius, right?
Yeah. I got my show tonight, and I try to be as active as possible because I know how I was affected. You know what I'm saying? Latinos, man, we here, but we have to be a factor. We can't just exist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want us to just own bodegas. You know what I'm saying? There's not a bodega chain yet. You know, there's a Target. We could have had that, you know, but we don't have that. So we have to kind of feel comfort with our new thing right now.
And ECB had done around the corner. So yeah, these are the guys who stand there.
See, this is just amazing. So I'm sorry. So what's happening? Go.
Right.
It's all good.
All right. Well, thank you for answering some questions for us, and I appreciate you coming out.
You got it, brother.
Yeah, I'll leave you to say a little something to the camera.
My name is D-Stroy. I don't really got much of a sign off. You can search me or don't search me, but just know at the end of the day I love you.